Welcome to Thrive with Morella. Today, I'm going to share with you a tool for when you're feeling overwhelmed, powerless, or hopeless about things.
So the tool that I want to share with you today is something that has come up in the last few days several times. And it's something that I learned about 30 years ago when I was a facilitator for the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People back in the 90s. It's crazy. Anyway, so this tool is going to be particularly helpful if you're feeling stressed out, feeling maybe really anxious, feeling overwhelmed, thinking about, you're dealing with something that is really crushing or pressing on you. So let me show you the tool. I've got my little folder where I pull out little illustrations that I create for my clients. So it's the circle of awareness, circle of influence, and circle of control, and learning to differentiate between the three where the ticket's going to be. So let me tell you about this. So, your circle of awareness is everything under the sun that you could possibly be aware of. So, this is going to be your government elections and global warming and the wars on the other side of the planet and, social issues, political issues, planetary, even national issues that you're aware of that interest you, that maybe you have strong feelings about. But the reality is, you have very little control over any of it. You can't control it. At best, you have a little bit of influence, maybe with your vote or choosing to recycle or, going to a protest and taking a stand for what you believe, right? These issues out here, the things that you can be aware of that you have very little control. If you spend a lot of time thinking about these issues and thinking about them as if you could control them, or wanting for change to happen at a particular rate or a particular speed, what tends to happen when we spend a lot of time in the circle is we start to feel hopeless, powerless, really, really small. Here's where we start to feel potentially despair about the environment or feeling like the world is going to hell in a handbasket because we can see all sorts of terrible things happening and feel completely powerless to change them. So it doesn't feel great to be in here. Much, much smaller is your circle of influence. So in your circle of influence, here are the things that, you still don't have control over, but you have influence, right? This circle can include your local government, your school board, your maybe your own neighborhood and your homeowners association. This circle also includes all of your relationships, including your children, your spouse. At best, in this space, you have influence over the things that happen, but you still don't have control. And so when we engage with the things that belong, that really exist inside of our circle of influence, but we engage with them as if we could control them, we start to feel pretty frustrated and angry. And it's like, why isn't so and so doing what I told them that they need to do? And they're really not doing what I want them to do. And, we can get all worked up in a lather and also feel frustrated, maybe anxious, overwhelmed, and really wanting things to go a particular way, thinking that we can control things that we actually can't control. We cannot control them. And so a lot of this also has to do with things related to work or, things that directly affect our lives, right? You have influence. You can put your, grain of sand or your barrel of effort, but you don't have control. Much, 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 much smaller than that is actually your circle of control. And what you can see here is your little you right in there. Inside of your circle of control is only your physical body. You have control over what you eat, when you sleep, how you show up to work, how you show up in all of your relationships, how you communicate, whether you meet your goals or not. How you show up is all you can control. When it comes to your relationships, your children, your spouse, you don't have control. At best, you have influence, especially with your kids. The older they are, the more that they move out of your circle of control and into your circle of influence. So when they are newborn babies, They definitely are inside of your circle of control, right? You are responsible for their lives, but from the moment that they begin to grow, they are moving away from your circle of control. And so when you try to exert or again act with control over things that really are not in your control, it leads to stress, incredible stress, anxiety, hoping, worrying, being super anxious about things that you have no control over. So if you come back into your circle of control, then you start to reflect on, well, what are the actions that are in my control to take? And what are the things that I do have power over, including how am I thinking about this, right? I have total power over my thoughts, and I can cultivate, helping myself think about this situation in a way that helps me feel better, really find what is in my power to do, and let go of the rest. So I'd love to hear what you think. Shoot me questions if you're watching this. Yay, nay. Just let me know what you think. I'd love to. I'm pretty good at responding to the messages on YouTube comments. I love seeing how these things land with people. So I'd love to hear from you. Hope you take care. Bye-bye.